Catacombs.
All right. It's not playing my intro. That's okay. Y'all ready? All right, guys. Kelly Walker Slaughter here, your host of Warren First 931. And with me this morning, as I said, on Friday's show, we really need to highlight and showcase our youth here in Warren County, our young adults, as I would say. And one of them, of course, is being Lily Harvey. Good morning.
Morning to you.
And with her, she has brought her lovely mom, Samantha. And again, y'all's family in general is just talented. Joe, all you guys.
They are.
You are. Stop it. You are too. I remember. Brian reminded me this morning how much of a great dancer you were, and I was like, "That's right. Time flies."
It does.
But you guys, your kids are amazing. How many kids do you have total?
We have 4 girls.
4 girls. God love it. But with that said, one of your they're all amazing in their own little way. But Lily, one thing I heard about you got to go on this trip to Greece.
Mm-hmm.
And how did that even become did you have to sign up for it? Did you have to how did you get involved in this trip?
I applied for a scholarship my church was offering.
Okay.
Yeah. I wrote an essay about how it would affect my life and affect my relationship with God.
Oh, wow. So you had to write a 2-page essay and all that kind of stuff. And so when this came about, what made you want to do it? Tell us a little bit what you wrote about.
I told him how I might grow my relationship because
You're good.
I've always kind of had it more difficult understanding, and I thought this might help me seeing all these places.
Like a visual learner? I'm a visual learner too. It's hard for me to read a book and understand the concept of it. I have to be there. I got to see it. I have to touch it. And that's one cool aspect of learning.
She also has a very big interest in mythology, like Greek.
Yeah.
We went other places, but Greek mythology and the gods and all that, she's always loved reading and learning about that.
Oh, wow. So you're into even in the books like Percy Jackson and all that stuff probably too, right?
Yeah.
So when you, do you know how many people applied for this?
Maybe I think 4 other people, maybe.
Do you know how many?
I'm not sure. It was 4 or 5 people.
They awarded it to Lillian and another person, but probably 4 or 5.
4 or 5. Mm-hmm. And then when you were told that you won, how did you feel?
I was really excited. My sister had to tell me because I left my church earlier because it was Easter and I was helping with the youth group stuff. But Nora came running to me and was so excited for me. I was so happy because I was expecting her to take it.
Yeah. Kind
of in the more jealousy way.
Yeah.
So
but she was more surprised. She was more supportive, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
I really appreciated her for that.
So when you got to go to the trip, who all got to go with you?
My parents, some people from from church.
Mm-hmm.
And a few friends, extra friends
Yeah.
of people from our church.
Yeah. And so preparing for this trip, did you bring anything specific on the trip with you?
I brought a dress I got a really nice dress I got for Christmas. I had never worn before, so I was really excited to wear that.
Yeah, when you're in Greece, I mean,
Yeah.
was it when in Rome, as they say? Yeah, do as the Romans do. But with that said, talk about your trip. You getting on the plane, you get off, and what do you see?
Well, for some reason, I pictured it to be a little bit more run down, but it was really. For some reason, I don't know why, but it was really cool to see how it was pretty similar to how things are here.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I guess, a lot more public transportations than we have here in McMinnville.
Yeah,
which I thought was a cool experience to see.
What kind of public transportations do they have?
Buses. I think. Do they have trains there? They have.
Yeah, we didn't take a train.
No.
Well, we did lots of buses.
Yeah.
And we did it, yeah.
But,
that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was some of the favorite places that you went to?
Probably Santorini, because we got to like walk around the city a lot more than, and like we also took this boat tour around the,
we went to Santorini, Greece, and we did well, first we got to do
I took a cable car.
She took a cable car up this mountain. I got to ride a donkey up this mountain.
Wow. Okay.
She opted for that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was additional.
Hey, listen. When in Rome, ride the donkey, man.
I rode a donkey.
do
Got
that
kicked
often.
a little, but yes, that was great. So we took a cable car. We walked around the city a little in EO. Am I saying that right, EO? And
Yeah.
and then we were able to take a bus to the other side of the island. So we got to see a lot of the. Is this Santorini?
Yeah, this is it.
And then yes, and so we took a bus, and then we got to we rented some boats, and we got to hop kind of between a few little islands. And where did we swim?
The hot springs.
We swam in hot springs, which smelled like
Eggs.
rotten eggs.
Okay, sulfur water.
It was sulfur water.
But is this that water everybody talks about that's healing water?
No.
Is that
They said this was not the good water.
Okay.
It was not the healing water. We just
It
stunk.
was the interior. It was the original like center of a volcano. So that's so it's warm.
It was thermal.
It was
like,
naturally heated.
yes.
How
We-
neat was that?
We swam in some really beautiful cold water, and then we went over there. And the two men that owned the boats, they hosed us off before we got back into their bright
As
shiny
they
boats.
should. Did they hose you down with tomato sauce as well?
No,
I mean, when
no.
that.
But it was rather stinky. But that was and they took us around to show us how the little islands they had been together had been formed from this volcano and all the layers of rocks, and it was very interesting.
Well, that's awesome. Now, of course, going back to why this trip was what it is for, like, did you have to do, what would be the question, like, walk where Jesus walked kind of thing? Like, what was the Christian part of it?
We had a book. It was the Voyages of St. Paul.
Okay.
And so we learned about St. Paul and his travels through that area.
Okay.
So we read a little bit beforehand, and we learned a lot more about him and where he visited
and like all the work he put in.
Mhm.
Oh, and how did that make, like, what did you learn from it?
I guess like
He traveled on foot.
yeah.
I mean, he traveled.
And y'all were in trains,
we
planes,
were in
and
trains,
automobiles.
planes, and a yacht at night.
Ooh.
And
Not a yacht.
not a yacht, not a yacht, a cruise ship.
Cruise ship. A
misspoke.
cruise ship is a yacht to us here in Warren
Yes.
County.
Sorry
I just
about
want
that.
everybody to know that.
We're not that bougie.
Cruise ship.
Cruise ship is still bougie.
Yeah.
But he traveled on foot and
Yeah.
and did this route a couple times.
It helps it, like kind of like make it more realistic to me, see all these places we went to and see the impact.
That he had on the people.
Yeah.
So what did you bring?
Oh, I brought a friend of ours brought this book. It took the pictures from the trip and made it into this book.
Okay.
Picture book with our travels.
Yeah.
Of our travels.
And so what's the first three on the front page here?
This is a flag of, I think, Turkey.
Turkey.
Okay.
We went to Turkey.
They
To
call us-
Ephesus in Turkey.
Ephesus, and then this is the Colosseum, and
Okay.
this is Santorini, right? Yeah, this is
Oh,
Santorini.
it's so pretty. I love that. Is that like a synagogue right up there?
I think so. It was a place where it was a very picturesque, everybody goes there to get their pictures. and
Instagram
place.
worthy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, is that what we're gonna
This
this
is
here you
the-
go.
So we landed in Italy and turned around and went to Colosseum the same day.
Yeah.
We landed and we went to school on Friday,
Yeah,
went to the airport that night, flew overnight, and then landed. We were in Italy by Saturday and did the Colosseum day one. It was amazing.
Wow.
yeah.
So what did they do at the Coliseum?
They kind of showed us around. They took us up. There were a lot of exits there for people move out
Mm-hmm.
of, and
How long did they say they could fill and empty the place in how many minutes?
I can't remember.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
What?
They could fill the entire Colosseum or empty
Like
it
back in the
15 minutes.
day?
Back in the day, I think there were 100. I might be wrong. 109 doors,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Still took
They weren't
15
taking an
minutes.
offense, so
it was not. Yeah, it was a free public event. Back in the day.
Wow.
So
I love that.
that was entertainment for the public.
Did they let you get to walk in the where people like
We were not
battled and
we
stuff?
were not down in the arena.
Okay,
we weren't on the floor. We were right above it, but mostly in the stands.
But how neat was it thinking about all the history that has been made in there?
It was really cool to see. Like seeing this makes you be able to imagine like all the fights and everything that went down there a lot more
real.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. What other pictures did you want to show? You can show any. This is your time, boo. Oh, look.
That was us on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lily had flown once before to Boston when she was like a year and a half or 2.
This was after the Philadelphia.
Oh, never mind. I'm lying again.
Yeah.
She's
mom
flown once
moments.
before. This was her first like overseas trip.
Yeah. Oh, we went to the catacombs.
Okay. Is this them right here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just show you. Talk about it. I'll show pictures.
We weren't allowed to take pictures inside the catacombs.
Why?
Yes, because it's a sacred place.
Okay.
It's a very sacred place, and did you love this place? Did you love
it? It was very
it was her least favorite.
Do you not like enclosed spaces?
No,
okay, so the Cumberland Caverns is not your friend, right?
No.
Okay, got you.
This makes Cumberland Caverns look like.
Oh yeah, that.
Madison Square Garden. Yeah.
It was
really.
Yeah.
And dark. Yeah.
So how did you see? Did y'all have like a light going in?
They have internal lighting now. They've modernized it, but they do have, I don't know how many, but skylights basically.
Yeah.
Where
Natural
they would
skylights.
they would have openings, vents where natural light could come in, but there were no bodies there. There were no remains left there. They had cleared them out, I think, before war.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was not creepy in that aspect, but it was just
very tight and small.
It was tight and underground and enormous.
Yeah.
We walked around for probably an hour, and they showed us a map of the whole place, and it was like a tiny little dot on the map of what we had seen.
Yeah, there were like 5 levels, and they all got bigger.
It was.
I don't remember.
It was deep.
It was like.
I remember when I went to Ireland, and one of our stops was at one of a cathedral, and I can't remember off the top of my head which one, but when you go into what would be their catacombs, it was tiny, it was tight, and they only had the rooms for the deceased, and they were there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see them in their full costume, or no, their armor, let me say that. And it was creepy, eerie, because you could feel the spirits in there in a sense, but at the same time, you gave them respect because they fought, but to see them like not fully decomposed, it's a sight to see, to be in such tight quarters like that. But what else is in the book?
This is when we first got to the Colosseum.
Okay. I love this. Whoever made that was sweet.
Yeah.
Our preacher's wife, Beth Heatherly, is phenomenal at making books and stuff
Beth,
like this.
you need to get with me. I need to make a book of my year. Look at this. So
real good.
That is so neat.
So in Italy and a lot of Europe, they have fountains, basically like public water.
Yeah.
And it's very clean. But it'll just be like a little spigot on the wall where it just continuously drips. Okay. And it's there, like animals can go get a drink of water, people can go fill up their water. So there is one picture of Lily in here. She got to fill up her water bottle. It might not be in here. We'll see.
I saw it in here earlier.
But she got to. Yeah. I was really excited to see that because I knew about that. And
can I tell them?
Yeah.
Okay. This is we went to a restaurant, and these were really good mushrooms. But
I was going to say, what is that I'm looking at?
It looks,
doesn't look like mushroom, but moving on.
The menu, the board was in Italian.
Yeah. And
they're like,
and
we ordered 2 plates of this, and they were $25 each.
Yeah. Stuff's expensive, Lily. You better save your money now or enjoy your mom and dad while you can.
We had ordered our, pizza or pasta, whatever we ordered. And the server said, well, what about these mushrooms? They're our specialty today. The chef recommends it. And Joe said, yeah, sure. We'll take one. And he said, one? And Joe, we don't know if we're getting a mushroom, what? And Joe said, 2. And so they bring out these 2 big plates filled with mushrooms, which I love mushrooms. It was not a problem.
It was good.
It was the best mushroom I ever had.
Yeah.
But $50 of mushrooms later.
50. I think it was 50 euros. So it was probably
50 euros. It was a good learning lesson for us.
I was gonna say it looks so like everywhere did y'all eat? Was it family style setup on food wise?
Most of the time.
Most
some
places.
Some places. We
Yeah.
The one in Turkey was definitely family style. That was,
Oh yeah.
We went to a Oriental rug, Turkish rug school, not a factory, but a school where they would bring in people from the community and teach them. But while we were there, we got to eat a family style meal.
Oh.
And
while they're making Turkish rugs.
Yes, so they had a courtyard where we got to go out. It was just a dirt ground, but there were, I think, white mulberry trees. And that's the tree that these silkworms live in and eat off of. So they have all these trees. They're serving us food, and then they take us and they try to sell us a $20,000 rug.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe. Where's the money at, bro?
Yeah.
And so we got to
living creatures at my house for the $20,000 rug.
We got to. It was a very delicious family style meal, but the rugs, we got to kind of learn how the silkworms are processed and how they turn around and turn it into rugs.
Yeah.
Well, that's neat. And you got to see the whole process from beginning to end.
We also got to see some.
There you go. What was your favorite food on the trip?
When we were in Naples, we got to eat pizza, and it was really good. I ate half a pizza.
Oh,
the birthplace of pizza.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
which pizza was that?
Margarita.
The margarita pizza.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, best pizza to choose from. So, what are these pictures of?
Oh, the Basilica of St. Paul.
Basilica.
Basilica.
So what does that mean?
Basilica, the Church of St. Paul.
Okay, thank you.
And then here, this is the same. Where did we go in Rome?
The Vatican Museum.
Yeah.
You went to the Vatican?
Yeah.
We went to the Vatican City.
Woo!
Which is technically not like it's its own entity. It's
Right.
its own country. So it has its own postal stamps.
Yeah.
Which I did not get to buy stamps, but it's its own entity. And we learned a ton there.
Yeah.
Was the Pope there?
I don't know if he was
if
currently
he was not in public viewing.
Yeah.
Okay. Did
Although
you see a lot of guys in the robes and everything?
Yes.
So really, it was a handful of the
Swedish guard, and we learned a lot about them. While they're in service for 2 years at a time. They are citizens of the Vatican, but once they leave, they lose their citizenship.
Oh.
But they are citizens of the Vatican City for that
while
time
they're
period.
serving their purpose, they're citizens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that's crazy. And is this the column again or no?
Colosseum.
Yeah.
Colosseum.
Colosseum.
And what's this?
That was inside of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need my glasses. So I'm guessing y'all were probably sitting right there when you were talking about standing close to the arena.
We got to walk around on different levels and
that's cool. And to see structures like this still stand today amazes me 100% because things that we build now, we have to keep revitalizing and make. I'm assuming they have done nothing. They just keep it. Have they fixed this up? Did they?
Every now and it seemed like there was a couple of spots where they made
stairwells.
it
They had touched up just to make it more accessible for stairwells. They weren't quite in the same state as they would have been thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
But all of Rome, everywhere we went, we learned how lasagna. They just build it's like the lasagna city. They build layer on top of layer. So a lot of places we went, if there was big open, the catacombs, it was in a big area, but they could not build on top of it because if it was a historical site, like if they would go down so low in the ground, they could find a historical building or something, and so it restricts them from building. And there are a lot of places, but the Colosseum and other buildings that had a lot of marble, they would pull. Yeah, they would scavenge. Like once the Colosseum kind of went into ruins, people would go and take materials and borrow for their own homes or statues or stuff like that.
So things would get like kind of scrambled around throughout the years and be like, oh, look what I found.
Yeah.
And Brian makes up a good question. He says you're a very talented writer. And now that you got to go experience, how the other world looks like, has that helped your writing style?
Maybe.
I always like to throw curveballs.
Yeah. I did get to see a lot of temples of like Hera, Athena. We got to see the Parthenon in person, which I thought was really cool to see. We saw Delos, where at the very top of the Delos mountain was where the temple of Hera used to be. So I thought that was really cool to see.
Yeah. Awesome. And so is this where you guys were? Is this the Parthenon?
That is, let me see.
I'm trying to see what the writing says.
This was in Rome. This was not in the Parthenon. This was the Forum.
Yeah.
So where they used to meet for like the Senate and everyone used to meet, the different.
Like the public meetings and stuff. Yeah, I'm reading what she wrote. She did a great job. They said, served as a site for political, religious, commercial, and social activities for centuries where citizens gathered for public meetings, elections, legal proceedings, and religious ceremonies. You need to do my books. This is nice. So is this the whole group right here?
Yes.
That got to go with you guys? Let's show everybody. Yeah, because I always like to show people.
We had a fun travel group.
Did y'all? Would you think about doing something like this again or encourage how old are you now?
13.
As a 13-year-old, being able to experience this at such a young age, do you encourage other young kids to encourage their parents to do trips like this?
Yes. Yes. Like, this is amazing life experience. This is like, you also get some good life lessons on this. Like, kind of how to act, like, not act, but like get around in public.
See how the other side acts, right? Yeah. And you have to adjust to like how they are, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like completely, but you'll be like, oh, well, we do something like this, but not like that.
Yeah.
I love that because I think I've talked about my husband and we're thinking about taking Walker when he how old is a good age to take your kids out traveling to show them that there's more to Warren County.
Anytime.
There's things outside. I'm not saying Warren County is like, I would love for everybody to come back and live here and live and die here, but you need to go and visit these amazing places because we started from somewhere,
It makes you more appreciative of what you have here.
Yeah.
Definitely. We got to see, the Roman toilets at the Colosseum.
Oh yeah.
And it would be men or women, and it was basically just a bench with holes and a stream underneath it. And it's just like running water they had it was aqueduct or not, but just running water where it would be in the same area, but women's side, men's side, but yeah.
So it'd be like a glorified outhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but with water running under it.
Yep.
Okay. Did y'all have bathrooms like that, or were they up to date? I have to ask.
We had a bidet in our hotel room.
Yeah.
That's a learning experience.
Some fun, showers but.
Does the toilet water go the opposite direction? Is that a thing?
You're
northern.
Okay, I didn't know when that does it. I heard like if you go somewhere, it's the opposite. Australia. Okay. Well, you need to go to Australia.
Yeah.
Just to flush the toilet. Yes. Just to flush the toilet. Is there anything else in this book you want me to show everybody? There's the yacht. I just want to show the yacht. There's the cruise ship.
That was our first ever cruise.
Yeah.
And how was that?
It was good.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Me a little bit.
It happens. What's this right here?
My vertigo.
I think this is Pompeii.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Pompeii.
Where's Pompeii located at?
Is that outside Naples?
Naples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right after you got pizza, you went to Pompeii.
We got pizza after.
We got
Yeah.
we got to go see a cameo store where they make cameos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's like the little portrait. Do you know what a cameo?
Yeah.
And they carve it out of a shell.
What?
And it was like the home place of cameos. And then we toured Pompeii.
Yeah.
How cool is Pompeii?
It was.
What's the
really
history of Pompeii?
cool. Not Vesuvius.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like erupted, and they were very unaware of it before then, and it covered the city in molten lava and ashes, and
Did they have any remains there?
Yeah, they did have a lot of remains of like statues and they had,
Because I've been to a couple of museums that have one or two of the carvings that they say this is the real, but then this is a replica.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if they had some of the real, like I saw one like a mom holding their kid.
Yes.
Which was very emotional.
Yeah.
You know, did you see anything like that?
we did see like this is like a mold.
Probably a mold, like they made a mold of remains that have been there.
Oh wow.
Tell them about the roads. Was it when we were walking on the roads, there were the big things?
Oh
in the
yeah,
road?
they were like hopping stones, I guess, like jumping stones, because water used to like flow down.
Yes, and
they couldn't touch the water.
The little if it flooded, the water could go through the road, and they could hop over the stones. But they were also used as like a speed bump, weren't they?
Yeah.
So they were like,
they started the original speed bumps. Okay.
They had little speed bumps there.
Down on Spring Street.
Yeah, we need like some little stepping rocks.
Yes.
They'd be like, what the heck is this? No, but that's neat. Did you like kind of hop skip on them just to feel like they did back in the heyday?
Yeah.
That's cool.
There were a lot of good ruins like this.
Mm-hmm.
There you could see the upstairs. Like,
was this like their houses where they lived?
Yeah.
Okay. Neat. And then what was this?
This is the port of Naples, where we like we walked around.
It was near where the port. It was near the port. Castle.
There's a castle. There were a bunch
where
of
the kings and queens stayed.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what we did not get to go inside of it.
Oh,
It was
you
the
didn't get to
castle.
get the history.
After
of
we
that
ate
one.
pizza, we walked up to that castle. There was a lot of renovations going on, and we didn't have a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say that we haven't talked about that you really enjoyed? Because I mean, that's a whole book.
You can say, you get to Athens.
Oh yeah.
A lot.
There's a lot of food and
Two
pizza.
different.
Talk about that.
Gelato.
She got to eat gelato and
Gelato. Sorry, I did the redneck version. Gelato. Gelato.
Let's see.
Is their ice cream better than ours?
Some are not.
Okay, that's a good answer.
Lots of flavors.
Yeah.
We had,
Yeah.
we talk about the food
The food was really good.
on the cruise ship.
There were like a bunch of different restaurants. There was
Mm-hmm.
a much like nicer one, and there was like a bar called what? Not a bar. Buffet. That's what it's called.
It's me on the donkey.
Yeah, there's the donkey.
You're like living the dream. Living the dream.
We walked around the city for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It was that Moody Bay is what was called where we found.
In Santorini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep
love
going.
it.
This
is well thought out.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. This was in Turkey. The rugs.
They were trying to say these are $20,000 rugs.
Yes.
They're beautiful though, right?
They were.
Look at that rug.
It was a kind of a darker green, and they probably pulled out 30, 40 rugs in front of us to try to show them off.
Yeah.
And of course they were serving a Turkish liquor and wine to all of the adults to try to,
Yeah. With beverages come prices change. Like, oh, that's not a bad price. Sure.
Yes, we had one in the group, an accountant who he has no children or anything like that. He bought a rug.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He got it the other day. Well, it varied. Like they went from showing me the $20,000 rug to it's like this one's $20,000 and this one's only $3,500. It's like
Yeah, still not enough for me.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they varied in price, but they definitely had the really expensive ones. I don't know what he bought though.
But it's in
yeah.
Turkey. It's really interesting. The government will not subsidize. They have an agreement with the rug makers that to keep this cultural practice going, the government will pay for shipping and taxes on any sales. So if you bought
What do they? So what do they get?
They get the money from like
From the state.
the rug makers. They get the money whatever they charge. But then like I would, if I had bought one, I would not have to pay the taxes or the shipping. The government would help with that.
Well, that's awesome.
To keep the
business afloat.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess they should if it's a $20,000 rug. I'm not
yeah.
And
it would take like 10 months for a person to make a rug.
Oh.
They do like it's a.
This is
This is like handmade. Yes, handmade on a loom. We got to see Hudson Heatherly is the other kid that went with us.
Yeah.
And he got
Future
to
Pioneer football star Hudson Heatherly.
he got to sit and try.
Men can loom, y'all.
Yes, men
can loom.
Men can.
Yeah.
What's going on with the sad face?
Let's see here.
Oh, there you go.
What else? So this, you want to talk about this one?
Oh,
The
yeah.
man cave. Is that the first man cave ever invented? It's on the other page.
This is Ephesus.
Ephesus.
Oh yeah.
So Ephesus, tell them about this, because this is like, we went in October and this was 3 months old.
Yeah.
Like this had been
They-
discovered. They were excavating.
Oh.
Yeah, this is like the home of.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It was an area that they are currently excavating.
Yeah.
So
3 months into it when y'all
Yes.
got there. So this is very this is their brand new baby.
Mhm.
So like all this stuff right here too.
we got
Yeah.
to
You
see.
can see the patterns on the floor.
So what is this building of? Like what is it? A house? Is it do they not even know yet?
Yeah,
It's
It's a home.
lots of different places. It was a huge area that they've spent millions, I think, to cover
Mm-hmm.
to protect the area. But we got to see layers of homes and where a bakery was. They did not do a lot of cooking in a house. They would go and have to get like takeout food.
Yeah. Because it
And
really looks like, y'all are talking about like the lasagna theory, like building off the
Yes.
top building. This looks like maybe a home that was built and then they're like, oh, we're done. Let's start over.
Mhm,
Like a city within, like it's a whole city in itself.
mhm.
Or it's an apartment complex maybe back in the heyday.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
it was all very close.
Yeah.
But we got to see the original like tiled
Yeah.
mosaics on the walls and the floor, and it was brand new for a lot of eyes to see.
Yeah. That's pretty though.
Mhm.
I mean, as much as it's like, it's brokenly perfect or like
Yes.
perfectly made in its own little way. Look at that, guys.
What else did you love?
Athens and Corinth are really fun to see.
Is this more of the ruins?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Were they working on this while y'all were
Yes.
there too?
Yeah.
How wild is that you can still see this stuff? God, so well preserved. Man, love it.
What was the unspoken rule or spoken rule
Oh,
of
was it like
archaeologists?
They save 10% of. Well, they only use 10% of the excavating, so they leave more for the.
Every
next
generation, it's kind of an unspoken rule with
Okay.
archaeologists. Every generation, they don't want to uncover everything. They only try to uncover about 10% a generation, and that's because
Like
we have access to different technology.
Right.
We have different interests. We
Mhm.
focus on different things. As like
Yeah.
100 years ago, they would have been focusing on different things. Now they're doing a lot of seed counts. They're counting grains and what grains and seeds and stuff are available, and different technology just to see down below surfaces.
Yeah,
and-
like the
and whatnot.
soil in itself.
And so they don't want to uncover it all because 100 years from now, who knows
Where we're gonna be.
what the focus will be on.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
That's neat
Yeah.
though.
keeping something for for the future generations.
Yeah,
to
because
uncover and
like, say
discover.
she wants to become a, our archaeologist one day,
Mhm.
and there's nothing to do because everything's already taken.
Mhm.
But by doing it, the unspoken rule,
Yeah.
it keeps like people going and being interested in it and keeps it going. I love that.
There are a bunch of I'm pretty sure this was the library.
This is
This one?
where
That
Cleopatra and Anthony walked.
Yeah.
What was that called? Cleopatra and Anthony walked
Their version of Main Street.
Yeah.
down that area.
remember what it was
When they were lovers.
Mm-hmm.
That's neat.
Let's
Is
see.
your Ephesus? That's what you
Yep.
Yeah.
There are olive trees and the agora.
Turkey was just lush with fruit trees and
Okay.
like
I like this.
persimmon trees, olive trees,
Cats.
huh?
Cats.
And cats.
Yes,
They had lots of cats.
They had a bunch of cats.
It was,
Well, wasn't
it was
Cleopatra known for having a lot of cats?
Yeah.
Arcadian.
What?
Arcadian way. Yeah,
Arcadian Way. Arcadian Way. Hmm. And we're sitting here learning about Paul. We were having a little message.
Oh, that's
But,
awesome.
Yeah.
So every destination y'all essentially went to, you sat down and you talked about
Mhm.
Paul.
Yeah.
What
So-
he did there and
The people he
effect
influenced.
had. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And what was one of the stories, Lily, that you remember the most that you were impressed by Paul?
It's hard to say because
He done so much.
yeah, he did a lot, and the sides were just seeing everything was really cool. Knowing he had been here a long time ago, speaking to all these people.
What did he tell us here about the pine cone and olive? Do you remember?
No. I don't.
I remember.
There was a special type of pine cone that was just specific to here, and olive, and he told us something about Paul. But
It's all right.
Remember-
The
yeah.
pine cone and the
Yeah.
olive.
we were jet lagged and we walked.
I mean, as soon as y'all
And
got off the
walked.
plane,
We were
y'all were
going.
on the trip.
We were
And then when
going.
you were done with the trip, you're back on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had no time for jet lag.
Yeah.
You got to be in the moment.
Yeah.
And what's this picture of?
Basically stands I think it was empty.
Amphitheater.
Okay. See,
Is
Daddy
it the one- Well, we saw a few. Is this the one in? Is that one in Ephesus?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were very kind to the stray
Yeah.
cats and dogs.
Yeah, love that.
Yes.
Genuine fake watches. Straight forward, blunt to the point. Yeah,
Yeah.
love it. Love it.
Very honest people.
And then what else you got in here? And then here's more turkey. Oh, they got those. See,
Umbrella.
I would love to do
Walk-
that. Something like downtown.
Walkways
Like,
that had rainbow umbrellas hanging.
Joe, get
from-
on that. We need to like
That's gorgeous.
every street
Some
should
alleyways.
pick, every alley should pick a
Mhm.
theme,
Mhm.
and then see who can win the most.
Mhm.
I'm just saying we should do like a nationalities culture trip down alleyway.
There we go.
Take it.
I like it.
Take it.
Sam is an international traveler too.
Are you now?
I lived in Japan for a couple of years.
Okay.
So,
Pre-Joe or
Yeah,
post-Joe?
pre-Joe.
pre-Joe.
Okay,
I-
pre-Joe.
I left him and lived in Japan. He ran me off. No, I lived in Japan for a couple of years after I graduated at MTSU and lived in Japan
Yeah.
and taught. And then I came back and the rest is history.
There you
Joe and
go.
I started dating.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anything else before I let you guys go that you want to like just top on one more thing?
This was Delos in Mykonos.
Delos. We
Okay.
walked and walked.
Talk about the Acropolis and
Right here.
the Parthenon.
Yeah.
Is this what you want to talk about?
That
Yeah.
was kind of the
Here.
crescendo.
Okay. Talk about,
wanna
let's end with the Parthenon because you were really emphasizing on that.
He knows all about the modern history.
So
we just did like a magic trick. You covered it up. And
I know.
I suddenly appeared.
it's a great transition, Joe. It's a great transition. So tell us, Lily, about the Parthenon.
The Parthenon was basically a temple to Athena, the goddess
Okay.
of wisdom, and Athens were usually known for their very intelligent war strategy.
Mm-hmm.
and they were not nearly as violent as like Sparta was, or like Corinth was not very well. I loved seeing Corinth. It's just like their history is not very.
It's dark.
It's a little bit darker than Athens.
Yeah.
Mm.
But Athens more like make peace, not
Yeah.
war kind of vibes.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
And well, we started in when we you go through Athens, which is a very sprawling city.
Yeah.
But we started. We didn't go to the Parthenon first. We went to the Acropolis first.
Okay.
Which is, you wanted to talk about what that was? We had a little lesson from Ryan on the Acropolis.
Okay. What is it?
No, this was us on top of it.
Yeah, this was the Acropolis.
Okay. What is that?
It's where it's kind of Paul talked about things there, and that's where like all the history was like all the decisions was made for like the city of Athens and things like that.
Like our city, or our mayor and alderman meetings and stuff, right?
The thinkers of the time, but also the politicians of the time.
Yeah.
They would all gather here, and it's a big rock that looks over the entire city.
Yeah.
They would get together there, and we talked about what.
Yeah, I was going to say. One of their laws there is no building could be taller than the Acropolis because the Acropolis has to be able to look over
down on everything.
That's a little creepy.
I think it might be is it the Parthenon that I'm thinking?
No, it was the Acropolis.
The Acropolis? Well, the Parthenon's a little higher than the Acropolis. Yeah. But
well, that's Athena. She was a Greek god. Yeah. So I mean, don't mess with Athena, right?
But it was a really cool place. Like I said, we talked about what Paul did and how Paul brought the word there, and it was a really interesting to see. Like this was the location where he started spreading the word. Yeah. It was bringing something different to the Greeks. It was very interesting. But when we were at the Parthenon, I did have to ask our tour guide if she knew about the Parthenon in Nashville.
Oh, of course you did, Joe. Of course, and she said.
Well, and she did. She knew about it.
Okay.
She's like, it's made differently than this one, which she was right.
Well, yeah, of course.
Ours is made of concrete and rock, but it was it is not as awing as this one, but it did make me appreciate the one in Nashville because it's to scale. Like like when you stand next to her, like, oh yeah, this is just as big as the other. Matches up. So that was really interesting. But it's a gorgeous view. The standing up there and, like I said, being able to look out over the entire city and into the Mediterranean. It was very impressive. That was by far the most impressive part about Athens. So.
Anything else that impressed you about the Parthenon or Athens?
The amphitheater there was really cool.
We get to stand up. Apparently, they still do concerts here.
Yeah.
As they should, because it's probably got good acoustics, as you would know.
Mm-hmm. And and actually not just this one, but also in Ephesus, our tour guide said he had seen. I thought it was Elton John. He saw there. He saw Elton John at the. In Ephesus at the amphitheater that is
how neat.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So my last big question out of all this, how did this trip get you closer to God and your Christian journey?
I kind of like hearing about Paul and all his trips kind of made it more realistic to me, I guess, and make it more relatable for how life is now. Because
that's a good answer.
Yeah.
100%. Because like I said, there's some people that can read a book and can visually see it but some people like me, and I know like you have to physically see it.
Yeah.
And you have to touch it because it's very hard to believe faith over facts sometimes. But when you see it, it's like you can't deny it. Right? Yeah. I get it 100%.
Traveling. Talk about from Coliseum Day. She's holding on to us. Death grip, like whoo, and by the end she's leaving us.
So you finally got comfortable close to the end. You had that 2-3 day cradle.
It's confident, like you gain confidence and you learn a lot as you travel.
Yeah.
Not as afraid to be out on her own now.
Yeah.
I've heard very stories similar walking down the streets of Main Street as well. We won't talk about that though. That's off-air chatter. But again, thank you so much for coming in. Anytime you guys want to come in, if you have a church thing going on or another trip coming up, feel free and come back up on the show.
Well, it was all through our church, the First United Methodist down here
Okay.
on the corner of Main Street and Chancery.
Thank you, Fierce United.
Yes, yeah. She's part of the youth group that's headed up by Bruce Watson. That's they meet every Sunday night, every Wednesday night. They do Sunday school, and then Ryan Heatherly is our pastor who really headed this whole thing up. We have to thank him because he was. We did a whole talking about travel. We did a whole Wednesday night series talking about traveling and faith, and so he headed this up, and it was a great trip. And what we kind of left out of the whole thing is originally the trip started with it was my 40th birthday present. Like I turned the big 40 this year.
High up top.
Then, yeah.
So did I this year.
And then they started talking about the idea of giving a scholarship, and that was when we're like, man, Lily really loved this, and so
Lily, can you write a good essay for your daddy? Turning 40.
But it was one.
It was a blessing in disguise at the end of the day.
Yeah, we it was one opportunity that led to another one.
Yeah,
we saw that we were very, very blessed to be able to take Lily on this trip, and we were very thankful for the people who were able to put it together. We have a great church committee.
And if anybody's looking for a church home, go check out First United Methodist.
We're always welcoming down there. We'll let everybody in the door. Anybody wants to come.
Yeah, come on in. Well, thank you so much, Lily, Joe, Sam. I know everybody's getting. Are you excited? I'll leave you with this. Are you excited that you get to go back to school tomorrow?
No.
Okay. Honesty is the best policy.
Well,
you're excited to see your friends.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
I'm not excited to wake up though.
Okay. Well, if the snow gods are listening to us with Athena in them, can you just put in a good word for a 2-hour delay?
Yes.
Just a 2 hour. That's all we're asking. So the kids can sleep in and
easing back into it.
Let's ease back into it. I think that should be a staple for any holiday after Christmas. Yeah. Right? Just a thing. But thank you so much. Here's your book and enjoy the rest of your day, sweet girl.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kelly.
Anytime. This is what my show is all about. Keeping the community connected and learning different things. And just like Lily said, at the beginning is, guys, if you have a young child that is interested in these things, you need to get them invested in taking them out, whether you're going to San Francisco, Greece, it does not matter, wherever the case may be. Take your kids, show them how the other half live. That's how I always tell. And my son Walker's ready to go, but I said just a couple more years, because I do think, and if anybody wants to back me up on this, the 13-year-olds I think get it better when they're older, 100%. But now I'm going to bring on Brian. Now my good friend Melody, she is actually getting ready for surgery. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you today?
Gosh, that was so good. And I want you to know, everybody said, thank you so much for this. My mom even chimed in and said, so interesting. Thank you.
Yes.
Mom, we need to go to Greece. I'm just going to put that out there now.
Highly recommend.
Yes.
Listen, those Harveys are wonderful people, and we're so blessed to have them in our community.
Yes.
With what Miss Sam does at Centertown, what Joe does here, just right across the street at the Historic Park Theater, and they're raising these 4 fine young women to be leaders in this community and to be one of the things. These guys play the music. What we didn't talk about.
I know. See, that's why we wanted everybody behind us so you could shake and howdy.
This is McMinnville.
Yes.
And so a good morning to you. We woke up to a little snow this morning.
We did. I didn't know how today was going to go. And I know in the Rock Island area got hit with a lot more snow than we did here. And I do know, as far as I don't have the weather pulled up yet, but I do want to say thanks to Brian for coming on the show today. I want to try to, for today's show, because I knew Lily was going to take a lot of it, but just to talk about what is coming up for 2025 for
yeah.
Warren First. It is so exciting. We're going to start trying to break our show down in segments, guys, where it's more condensed. It's more, I don't want to say scripted, but it's still going to be like ours. But we're going to try to help us stay on point a little better. So a couple of the segments that we're going to be calling these are Warren County, Are You Listening? Which that will be all local based events and things going on, or community happenings that we need to talk about.
So things that involve Warren County exclusively
to them, yes. And then our business buzz, which if we hear about any new businesses opening up, like going back to the Dollar Tree, and then what else was it? Not the Dollar Tree. Oh my gosh, I just forgot. Five Below. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Five Below, Dollar Tree, Big Lots. And I will like to say right quick while I'm thinking about this, and I'm not going to pull up the article. When we found out about Big Lots, you know, they filed for a Chapter 11 or 13 bankruptcy thing. But also in that article I read, it stated that all Big Lots were at that moment were closing. But if, just like Red Lobster did when they filed for bankruptcy, if some other company buys them out, they can get out of that bankruptcy, problem and reopen up and have no issues. And that is what has happened with Big Lots.
Okay.
A company has bought out Big Lots' bankruptcy issues, and they are going to be reinstated. I don't know how many shops are going to be reopening, because I know some already shut down out of the 900 something. But one, I did go by our Big Lots here, and of course they don't know, because they're just employees. But as of right now, I will say this: if they still have those closing signs and you want to get some good deals on some things that you might like 30, 40, 50% off, you better get them while you can, while they're still having those store closing signs. But another segment that we're going to do is what's going on in America, because there is so much. I was talking to Brian, and I talked to a lot of my other friends, with Israel and New Orleans and beer companies, and the flu and the cold is running. That is going on not just here in Warren County, but it is running rapid everywhere else. And then I also heard this morning that I was going to talk about a little bit today with Brian, was a lot of families and a lot of people in general are downsizing on cars because of the price of gas.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing. So when we talk about what's going on in America, that is going to be everything other than Warren County, the McMinnville area. And then Bible big one, if we ever have it, which, last week we did have a hot topic, of course, with the shooting in the Morrison area. When we get more details on that, or any hot topic, like the DA, was it today? I think it's this week. They're doing the arraignment not the arraignment. They're scheduling the court date this week for his hearing. And so that's like a hot topic that people are like, oh, is she going to talk about it? I am. I just got to get all the facts first,
and knowing those kind of things. And I love the format of breaking it up into segments, because sometimes our shows run a couple hours long.
Like today.
But the thing is we can timestamp them. People can go back and see exactly and hit the topics that they want to hear about. If they just want to know about the events going on, they can do that. And also like and subscribe. Make sure that you're a subscriber so you can know when we're coming on live. But even if you don't catch us live, make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to share. Make sure to tag somebody, because if we reference somebody, they might not even know that we sent them a word of praise. So if we can let people know that, hey, this is your community, we want everybody to be involved in this, and hey, tag somebody or let them know that the events that are coming up or the topics that they want to hear about. We know after 2020 with the COVID, that affected the world
as a whole.
It changed a lot of things, and even here in Warren County, that we're not the same as before, and so we want to stay on what the current events of what's going on, things that may affect us here in Warren
100%. And with that said, and of course, ending the show every day with upcoming events, because there is always events going on. Now we're at a kind of a calm period right now, because everybody is still recouping from Christmas and New Year's. But starting, I know in February, I've got a few dates for that, but we're not going to discuss them just yet. But one date I do want to start talking about is my 1 year celebration. I finally nailed down a date because I wanted to make sure everybody and anybody that I know that could come, that's been a part of my inner circle, could do it. So on January, and I want to make sure I tell you all the date correctly, January the 17th, which is a Friday, I am going to host my 1 year celebration at the Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be doing a live feed throughout the whole entire day. So if you want to come on and, shout your praises about the show or shout out something that's going on in the community or an event that's going on, this is your time to shine, guys. That we always say we've lost so many people in 2024 about our sparkles, our movers and our shakers. And this is your time to either step up or give me the information, because use me as your vessel. Use Brian, whoever that's been on the show with me, and be like, hey, can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? And so again, that's from 8:30 in the morning to 1:30. So plenty of time to come on the show.
Now, Kelly, this reminds me of the election night when you had just person after person.
That's waiting, my goal.
And that's, I think that's the way it's going to be if I could predict it. But no.
Fingers crossed.
Hey,
fingers crossed.
Congratulations, Kelly, for a year doing Warren First. And think about all the people that you've got to help through that. Gosh. Just the animal rescue services, the different businesses that you've been able to tell about, different specials and things that are going on that helps our local economy. The shows, the park theater stuff, Warren Arts. These are just a few of the things.
Yeah, this is just a little bit, between, and I said this on Friday and I'll say it again, the big thank you is to the community. Whether you came on the show, posted about the show, followed, liked, subscribed, was a part of the newsletter, was a sponsor of the newsletter, or any of this, the podcasting that we do. If your hands were involved in some form, whether you commented about it, it's because of you that I'm still here today. And I'm telling you, 2025 is looking up and it's looking amazing. And you know me, guys, I always want to up my game. Like last year is going to be forgotten, let me tell you, because 2025 is looking up.
Kelly, are you a little extra?
I am a little extra. If no one knows me, I am. My mom, if she's watching, she will tell you I am extra to a T. And that's why my son is like the way he is. But I want to tell you guys, continue. Good morning, Deanna. She's one of our major top fan listeners. But again, the 2025 is going to be extra. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's going to be brighter. Just like today, we changed up the screen. We changed up the view. And even tomorrow's show, we're going to make the screen look a little bit better with some lighting. Thanks to Joe and yourself for suggesting that. I cleaned out my car, so the lighting's at the house.
You're good.
But again, there's so much on this show that I don't want to miss one thing. And again, guys, I say this as I can. If you have an event going on, if you have something you just need to let the community know what's up, you have got to let me know. And the easiest way to do that is to call or text me at 931-305-0869. Because sometimes, like me and Brian have talked about, our algorithms here on Facebook and social media is not the same. My algorithm is not the same as Brian's. So when I say this, you guys need to send it to me as best as you can. And the best way is by calling or texting me your information at 931-305-0869. And starting back today, the newsletters are coming back, and it's going to be all of a year-end wrap-up and what was going on in 2024.
Now, Kelly, where can people get the newsletters?
So that's going to change up.
Okay.
So follow us on Facebook so you can see there's going to be about 5 or 6 locations now, because going to 22 locations was very hard on me. And so we had 20 plus locations. If you want to become a location, you can do that by sponsoring. That's going to be one of the new things is so you can pick it up there. And part of sponsoring a newsletter pickup area is also being in an advertisement in the said newsletter. And on here as well.
And speaking of advertisement, we're very blessed to be here at the Top Studio.
Yes.
Right here on Main Street. And we've got our big window behind us, and people have been walking through. And we want to encourage people, especially when the weather gets warmer, to come by and say hi.
Yes.
You're the star of this podcast. You're the reason why we do
come
this
and show
stuff.
yourself.
So
man.
give us a wave.
100%.
Give the community a wave when you come by.
But with that said, I do want to talk about at least some of the stuff that's going on in America. Do you want to do it and give me a break?
Let's do it.
Okay, so starting off the bat, we I know last week, and our prayers and thoughts today actually starts the they're doing the funerals and stuff today. 14 victims were had at this terrorist attack. They deemed it as a terrorist attack in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. I don't know the person's name, but a person drove their truck through the barricades and ran over people, and then got right out and started shooting up. And so 14 people were killed, and there are still several people that were injured. And that also includes police officers. And our thoughts and prayers go with them as the funerals are going on today, because correct me if I'm wrong, I think I overheard it this morning, that normally this is the time when Mardi Gras and stuff starts kicking up.
Ash Wednesday will start up in February, so that's and they'll be here before you know it.
Yeah.
So, but you had the Sugar Bowl going on.
Yeah,
you had a lot of
Sugar
people.
Bowl.
It was New Year's going into New Year's Day, and so there was a lot of people down there. And New Orleans is one of those spots where people are going to stay up all night.
Yeah, I've been down there.
And so, it's a great city. I mean, I love the cuisine. I like to eat. So.
I like the atmosphere and the people and the entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
The food was great, don't get me wrong, and smelling it from room to, but again, seeing how people are, and it's just kind of like with Lily seeing how the other side lives is very, it's impactful.
Oh, so with my family, my wife's people are from that area, and we have a strong connection to New Orleans. So whenever you see things like that happen to us, such an iconic city, and you mourn with them. And we've been very fortunate over the last nearly 8 years to not have any domestic terrorism really hit our soil, hit our cities. But here we go again.
Here we go again.
And then
2025 just started, it feels like, and it's sad. It's just so sad. And we don't know if any of those family members had or people that passed had families. So our thoughts not only go out to the victims that have died and the people that are injured, but also to the shooter's family and friends as well, because you just never know.
You never know how people are, and we have to be vigilant. If you are places now, I would encourage people, don't let these things deter you from going out and living your life. That's the beautiful thing about how we respond to acts of terrorism, is that we don't let these things keep us back. We're Americans, not Americans.
That's right. I love that.
And so we live in the greatest country on earth, and that's one of the crazy things about why these things happen to us. But it's because of our freedom, and lots of and this seems like a religious ideology that was being perpetrated against our country. So keep being America, keep being strong, but
keep doing what you do, man.
But we mourn and pray for these families and the people who perpetrated this stuff. We have to pray for them too. And I think that was really neat with Lily. I like to circle back to this because they talked about the Apostle Paul, and the Apostle Paul, if he's the apostle for Protestants. I mean, he was the one who got the Gentiles involved, and so it's really interesting that we started off the show with Lily Harvey and her family talking about their amazing trip. And again, shout out to First Methodist Church and Ryan Heatherly and the folks there. And with this weather coming in, they have an awesome ministry for our homeless community.
They do.
Those that are living on the street. So we got a lot of people to pray for, Kelly.
We do. And and other things that are going on in America, which I think is crazy. I was hearing this over the weekend, that a lot of beer distilleries, industries are, having to either shut down or they're partnering up, because they're seeing a movement with this next generation of 21-year-olds. They're either doing the CBD thing, the THC stuff, or they're doing a lot more non-alcoholic bars, because I know we don't have just a non-alcoholic bar, that sell mocktails and those things, but there are bars that are starting to pick up non-alcoholic drinks.
Well, the Surgeon General just released here recently about cancer. One of the main causes of cancer in America today is alcohol.
Really?
Yes, that just came out this week.
I did not see that.
This last week. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
makes a lot of sense.
So, and one of the hot commercials that's on during the football games and stuff right now is a beer brand called Athletic, and Athletic is a non-alcoholic
That's
beer.
right.
So you see these people, and then you've got the White Claw moms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But they're trending away from beer. And cultures change, just like what we talked about earlier. People's palates become sophisticated or change over time, and so they don't like the stuff. And this day and age, I mean, it is an acquired taste if anybody drinks beer. So a lot of people just don't like it. And with our younger generations, we see a lot of different things. They've grown up with the internet.
They have.
They can Uber. And they don't have to drive. So why would you spend the money on a car note
and get a
pay
license.
for insurance and everything when you get taken, for a fraction of the cost? And that's even coming and affecting little places like McMinnville, Tennessee.
I was going to say, piggybacking on what you said, it also was talking about how Americans are downsizing their cars to like small cars because of the from the data. It says the data from the economic pressure of gas prices and the interest rate. They said $19,000 average compact midsize SUVs are, according to smaller cars, is also about practical and still offer a higher riding position with economy and advanced features.
Well, this economy has been really tough for a lot of families. The dollar doesn't stretch like it used to.
No.
So you got to cut corners at every
which way you can.
Yeah.
And if anybody's like me and Brian, because we're both family members, we have families. Every time January hits, you budget. I don't know if you guys do, but we kind of like reset.
You just probably spent the most money you spent in the entire year in the last month of,
That's correct.
Of the year.
That's correct.
So going out of your normal and buying gifts for children, your children and other family members and friends, things like that. So Christmas is a very expensive time of the year. So in the restaurant industry, it dries up in January. That's when you can take your vacations and things like that, because not as many people are coming in and buying stuff. And so it's just the way it is. In my line of work, I'm for those of you who don't know, I am a nurse and I work.
Ryan is a nurse, so if I go in cardiac arrest, I'm in good hands.
Now I work PRN, so I work as needed. But at our River Park Hospital here in town, on the med surg unit, Ryle Chastain has done a wonderful job staffing us.
I was going to say, our mayor of McMinnville.
Shout out to Mayor Chastain.
Yes.
But no, he's done a wonderful job keeping the staffing numbers up.
Yeah.
And one of the things is when you've got nurses and you got a hospital fully staffed, because most of the time it's not, it's the other way around. It means that people are having to work. So I don't get as many shifts because there's not a need for me there, and that's okay. I'm good, but I'm just saying
it's a good thing not to,
Well, but the thing is the economy is so tough. Everybody's having to work. Yeah. Everybody's having to work, and the nurses that need to pull extra shifts and things like that, God love them, because they've got families to support, and so it is a tough economy. So cutting corners. I know that I'm going to try to cook more, and I've started a new diet.
Congrats.
Look, one of the things that I learned.
Cookies and cream?
I'm sick of cookies. No.
No.
But no, so a lot of people, they start these goals and first year and cutting out things like luxuries and niceties, going ahead and buying coffee. And I want to give a shout out to our Cumberland Biscuit Company. If you get one of these mugs, you get on the plan where they give you free coffee. And man, this is a sturdy mug.
It's amazing. I got 3 of their coffee mugs at my house. I have a yellow one, a green one, and a white one.
Well, they were beautiful and they're well made. And again,
they have a nice stain at the bottom.
Yes, you got a surprise on the bottom. So
we're not going to tell you what it is now. I've told you once, but y'all need to flip it over and read it.
So I'm just drinking black coffee these days, Kelly.
Okay.
But hey, look.
So is my husband.
Oh, hey, you do what you got to do. So the economy is tough on everybody. Everybody's trying to figure out different ways that they can cut costs.
Minimize.
And so gas prices. We're probably not taking as many trips, not taking vacations and everything. So I was very glad that they got to take that amazing vacation. But you made a comment in the interview, and I thought that was really interesting. At what age do you take your children?
Yes.
Because a lot of people, like with young families, a lot of them want to go to Disney. Well, when you go to Disney, the youngest person, this has been our observation, my wife and I, the youngest person dictates the pace of the trip.
That is correct.
And so moms and those that are planning on doing this, maybe as it warms up, or if you can go now, hey, great, because this is the time to go Disney. Right after Christmas.
We went to Disney a couple of years ago with my mom and my family. This is my right after my dad passed, and Randy Jane was just 1. Okay.
Oh wow.
And so we could go wherever we wanted. Now, I think if we take her now at 2 or 3, no, it's not going to be like that. She's going to dictate every step.
Well, I tell you, Kelly, one thing.
She's sassy.
One thing to put a pin in is we might need to get one of these Disney hostesses or one of the people that do the planning. And
I know plenty of people that do that here in town.
We need to get
travel agents, right?
Well, they're travel agents, but they have a special name, like a Disney something. And I don't know what it is, but anyhow, we need to get one of these people on someday to talk about what's going on outside of.
Well, you know, speaking of trips, I do have one coming up in April. My friend that helps book cruise trips. So I've decided, you know, I got to give myself some time this year. This is going to be one of my 2 trips. One by myself and then the other one will be with my family.
Okay.
And so we're going to go to the Bahamas, Nassau, in 7 days. I'll be gone for 7 days.
Oh, nice.
But my friend that invited me said, Kelly, you can do your podcast up there. And I'm like, you don't care, you know? And she's like, no, don't mind. So I can talk about my travels every morning, like for at least 30 minutes.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And then, you know, live from Carnival Havana, Havana Cabana Carnival. You know, maybe I could get some good luxury, but no, but I'm really, again, taking your kids at a certain age, I think is what's the right age? Mm-hmm. And I do think if you want them to value the dollar and value how they have it made here in wherever you live, 13 is a prime number. I think it would be the best time to take them.
Well, I've noticed so much. I've got twin 12-year-olds.
I know you do.
So they've changed so much. And so yesterday we had a really neat experience. Mm-hmm. A gentleman here in town asked us if we'd like to go to almost like a Comic-Con type anime convention. It's really an art expo in Nashville, and it was free, open to the public. And we got to go, and my kids, they loved it. And I loved it. And the adults that we were around, they loved it. And so, and it was the first time that Nashville's ever had one of these things before.
Wow.
Yeah, you would think with a city the size of Nashville, they've had something like that.
Yeah.
But so having children that grow, because you're not raising children, you're raising adults. And giving them a platform and a palette that changes and grows more sophisticated day by day.
Day by day.
It happens quick. But no, we had a wonderful time. And speaking of children, we've got the flu season that's rolling in.
Yes, flu and cold season is running rapid right now. And whether you get tested positive or negative from it, you got it. Let's just say what it is. Because for the past 2 weeks, my children have been off and on with something. Yeah. And they got tested for everything, and everything posted up negative. So I'm the only one that did not get contaminated or infected. So with that said, big thing is, as a nurse, wash your hands.
Yes.
Try not to touch doorknobs. I know that sounds weird when I say that, but honestly, you know, I do this trick. And then if I see it, some places that have the handle at the bottom for your foot, I use the foot handle.
Well, in medicine, in the hospital, especially in surgery and those kind of places where you're frequently washing your hands, they have foot pedals that really helps out and minimizes the exposure. Now, we still have door handles, but the way they make the handles is you can use your elbow to push them in. So you see these big, wide handles. And so, with soap and warm water, not sanitizer. Yeah, well, sanitizer doesn't cover everything, and and you know they tell you to do the ABCs twice when you're washing your hands. Interlock your fingers.
And happy birthday.
Or happy birthday, yeah. So these things, they're important to know. They're life skills that not everybody. And I know we all get in a hurry.
Yeah. It happens.
But we've got to do better, especially this time of year. And if you believe that you or your child is sick, please keep them home. Please take them to Pioneer Pediatrics or any of these great family health care practice, any of these.
We got
clinics.
plenty, and we got new ones. You got that lifelong one that just is the newest one that was opened up. That's right by Little Caesars Pizza. You know, we got several new, they're like quick health clinics for you guys to take your family member to. And they're also great as primary care doctors too, if you're looking for a primary. I always have to say that because I feel like we don't have enough primary.
We don't have a lot of doctors, and that's one of the problems that we have here in this community is that doctors are aging out.
Yeah.
One of the best doctors around for a long time was Dr. Ray Troop.
Yes.
And he no
Shout
longer
out to my buddy.
Yeah, Dr. Troop. And I'll tell you, you'll see Dr. Troop walking down the street here. We hope to catch and wave at him sometime.
Yes,
when the
on
weather's
Thursdays. Nice. He always comes and does his Bible study with his buddies on Thursdays. Melody said, ask you about the bad side effects of Tamiflu.
Well, listen, I don't know. I mean, generally when you have to take Tamiflu and you really want to take it in a certain range, and I'll tell you, the best person to have is my mom, Donna Carr, pharmacist at Graves Pharmacy. She can tell you
Shout out to
about
Mama Donna.
Oh, look, we've got some wonderful pharmacists here in the community. Stacy's Wellness Center.
Yes.
Stacey Williams is awesome, and then we've got other people, McMinnville Drug, just wonderful families that run these businesses and help out. But one of the things, whenever you take Tamiflu, you need to take a lot of water. Always keep hydrated. You got to remember your body's in a state of infection. Now it's not bacterial; it's viral at that point, and you need to fit the parameters. But want to make sure if you have to take Tamiflu, take plenty of water with that. Another thing is you're going through a lot of stuff, and what might work for some people may not work for other folks. And so, and it's probably about proteins that people's bodies make that are just slightly different. You look at blood types, and not everybody can take the same blood. It's as simple as that can cause a disturbance in your system. So make sure that if you fit the parameters, you get on it, but talk it over. But make sure you take plenty of water and follow your doctor's advice whenever you do that kind of stuff.
And if you ever have a question about what's going on, call your doctor. Call your doctor. We got two more things we're going to talk about before they open up here so we can shut this down. Real quickly, we are watching the weather. Winter weather is upon us. As you can, if y'all woke up this morning with us, Rock Island got hit with maybe an inch of snow or a good dusting that it covered all the trees. I'll show Brian what my husband sent me this morning, which was crazy.
Oh, it was beautiful.
So, yeah.
So
this was how it was in Rock Island this morning.
That's about the same way it was in Deborah when I left my house.
Yeah, and then there's with some snow on the plants. And supposedly, from what I'm reading, we're today and then are going into the morning time. We're potentially getting 1 to 3 inches of snow.
Now,
that has changed. It keeps changing.
And you told me off air earlier, but it is confirmed that DeKalb County schools are closed tomorrow.
And I was going to check if any other schools have closed right now, but DeKalb County is completely shut down tomorrow. So if you if you're in the DeKalb County area, there is no school for you. But if you do you want to look up the school closings right quick while I talk about weather? Because that's what I had pulled up. That would help me out a lot. Okay, so as of right now, it is 30 degrees outside, but it feels like 18. It's lower than normal temperatures and expected throughout Saturday and Sunday. So from now to the end, that's what it's going to be. And you know what blows my mind is the air quality. You can breathe so much better when the air's like this. But last night, if you were up and at it, you could hear the rain coming in. There is a cold front coming through right now, and I follow the Weather Channel in on this. But right now, it is 30 degrees. The high today might be 36, but the low 24. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's going to be sunny and clear, but low temps. 33 is going to be the highest. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's calling for some more snow.
So, folks, we have White County closed, Van Buren County closed. We've got Putnam County, and we've got Jackson County, Grundy County, and DeKalb County schools are closed. They say closed Monday. So it should be rebooting and closed for tomorrow.
Yeah. But DeKalb has confirmed for tomorrow.
And so a lot of these school systems will be doing that as well.
And it's showing here, like the top story, of course, if you want to follow any of this, we get all our information on the Weather Channel apps and more. But they're showing a winter storm Blair. Like there's a cold front coming through. So make sure if you have not got out your warm or your warm clothes so you can stay warm out in this warm or cold weather, you need to go do that now. And I'm trying to pull up to see if I can find anything else on it before I call Melody, because she is going to talk to us about the business buzz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's got it at her. She's got it set up. So Melody, get ready. I'm fixing to call you. But yeah, so right now it says 29 degrees, cloudy. Tonight it's going to be 24 degrees. If you have any plant, before I forget to mention this, that needs to be covered, the time is now. Either bring them into your home or, or cover them up with the proper plant equipment.
And while we're talking about that, shout out to Matthew 25 Ministries for what they're doing, because
yes.
Between them and First Methodist Church and Home and Sheila Fan and all the other people that are working to try to get
Perry's Food Ministry.
Yes, Perry's Food. We're trying to get these people. So if anybody knows or needs a connection, make sure you check out Matthew 25 Ministries, Gannon Richardson.
They do a phenomenal job.
And I'll tell you,
if you've got blankets, coats, anything to help with the warm weather for people to stay warm during the night, that's what they're doing.
And if you want to volunteer, you can go online. You can go to their Facebook site and go. They've got a PDF file that's on their page that you can go through and look at what their training consists of. And so we want to really encourage folks, if you can help out in any way, please help the community out and help these people. I was going
to mess around with stuff.
Oh, you're good.
Talking. I forgot I had this on here. Because see, now it's going to move with us if we move.
Oh, see? Great.
I forgot about that. It's something new I'm playing with. So
look, there's a lot of new things that are coming down the pike, and we're really excited about this.
I'm super stoked.
The beautiful thing about what we do with this form of media is that we can do it anywhere, and you don't have to be right here right now. You can come back at any time and listen to it. So people who that sponsor the show and that we want to put out their information, business owners, look, they can look at the views. They can see how many times
and Reddick Brown Ford, shout out to them for not only just being our Takes Club sponsor and a newsletter sponsor, but they're also our weather sponsors as well, and our upcoming event sponsors. Real quickly, it just notified me that snow is possible snowfall. Again, will be at 1:00 today.
All right.
So if you want to make any quick snow angels, you better do it now.
I might have to strap on the Santa suit.
I think you should. Call me.
Take some pictures.
Yes, call me before I have to get I don't have my baby today.
Okay.
So we can do some like Santa shots in the snow. That'd be great. We can go to Rock Island.
Oh, hey, it's beautiful out there.
Yeah. And then, of course, real quickly, as we're gearing up to the end, which we have to because it's 10 minutes till, I am going to call our good friend Melody, and she's going to read us the business buzz today. Are you ready?
This is exciting.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. So, can you hear me, Melody?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
So can. So, tell us all about what's buzzing in business.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. I'm going to pull up my notes.
Yeah, you're good. This is why I love our show.
Still on, right? Hello, Brian.
Good morning, Melody. Wish you were here.
Yes.
I know. I'm having a very bad fibromyalgia flare up, and then I'm trying to stay away from everybody so that I can have my surgery on Wednesday. So
prayers for Melody on Wednesday.
Yes, we'll be praying.
So it's okay. I'm excited. This is hopefully going to do it. You guys are talking about traveling, and I've already gotten all my travel plans for my monthly trip set up. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be a much better year this year.
Yay.
Let's see.
There's so much business going on. First and foremost, Big Lots. Is it in there or no?
Yes, Big Lots. Okay, so let's start there. Yeah. So here's the thing with the Big Lots. And I said this from the get-go, and I kept getting argued with. There is nothing definitive. We don't know if ours is closing. It's all dependent, from my understanding, and this has been from the get-go, this is what the original article said, this is what was on the Big Lots website. It all was dependent on whether or not they got bought out.
That's right.
Which I think that that's gone through at this point. So I don't think we're losing hours. Either way, I know that they have to liquidate some of their inventory, which is probably why they're having the closeout. But I don't think we're losing that thing.
Okay. And from my sources that I read too, Melody, that's what that's all I can confirm at this point, that they've been bought out. But I don't know if, you know, if ours is going to be the one that stays open or not.
Right, because really it just depends on this new company at this point.
Right.
So, you know, there's that, and then of course, you know, we did talk about the fact that the Five Below's going in right down the way from where the Big Lots is. We've got that new Dollar Tree location, and let me clarify on that. I said we had a second location. We actually have 3 locations. I forgot about the one that's a Dollar Tree / Family Dollar outdoor.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So I forgot. So there's actually, we have 3 Dollar Trees in this little tiny hamlet of ours. So that's pretty exciting.
It is.
And Mud Bombs has brought on a second owner, which I think is wonderful for Brett.
Yay, Brett! And a new paint job. Have y'all seen Mud Bombs? Have you seen it?
No.
So good.
Yes.
And apparently they're going to include the patio at some point, from what I'm hearing. So that'll be awesome too, because then that's more seating. I have auditory problems, so I love Mud Bombs food, but I don't go as much because they're always packed every time I go, which is an awesome problem to have. But it's too much on my ears. So I'm looking very forward to them enclosing that patio area, having that additional seating, which will just be great.
Which I'm hoping they, with including that, it's going to bring more people to see the entertainment that they bring as well.
Yes. And I'm hoping, oh no, they already have it. Never mind, just kidding. As a person with chronic pain issues, I like having, picnic benches are great, but I need something with a back. So I'm always stuck for restaurants that have multiple seating options.
Okay.
If you see me go to Kimmy's Tea Room, I turn into Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I'll try every single chair in that place until I find one that fits me.
Right.
But also, for those who have seen, a lot's going on Morford Street, the back part of Main Street Center, which is where Begonias is and Southern Traditions. I have checked. I'm almost positive there's not paid parking downtown anymore. That whole thing is gone unless she's moved it. So there's no.
We
more
haven't.
paid parking, which wasn't that much to begin with.
No.
And if you ate there, I think it was just to control who was parking in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Because I think that they had some people that were parking there and that were taking away from business. That is one of the major issues with our downtown area.
Yeah, it's not enough parking.
There's not enough parking. There's not enough handicap parking. It's an issue. And, you know, you and Joe, or you and Sam, I think it was you and Samantha, were talking about having speed bumps. And a lot of people don't realize that Main Street is a state road. So McMinnville has no control over what happens on Main Street. And possibly Spring Street, but definitely Main Street. So if you want speed bumps, which I think we desperately need, I've gotten out there and gotten real crazy angry at people before. Flying through downtown, kids around.
Well, you know,
that's something we should take it up with the state.
I will tell you this, a fun fact. You know, they talked about in wherever they went to with the stepping stones. That's why there's stones there. It's helped to slow down cars.
Right.
Everybody's like, why are they putting stones on the streets? That is that's a form of a speed bump. So just so everybody knows.
They fly through downtown. I mean, it's an issue, but it's an issue that unfortunately our city has no control.
Unfortunately, yeah. And what else is going on?
Several of our city people. But anyway, so back to over there at the Main Street Center, Raven Young so that whole Fraley's building is owned by Ken Roberts. Yeah. And his granddaughter, Raven, has done such an incredible job.
Yeah, I'm giving it some life again.
Reinventing, yes, it's awesome. And she's still going. They have actually opened up one of the buildings that's gonna be a walkway. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with that. It looks like a walkway. There's also quite a bit of concrete blocks over there. David and I were speculating what she's going to do with that. Okay. Raven's always been very tight-lipped about what the plans are. I follow her on TikTok.
But she's got good intentions, though.
It's incredible.
Tight-lipped, but good
It's
intentions.
going to bring so much. 10 high-end apartments to the upper floors.
Yep. It's gonna be nice.
There's going to be an elevator, which is always awesome. I love Joe at Collins River, but those stairs are mean. And there's no elevator. In a lot of these old historic buildings, it's very hard to add elevators to it. And these are old staircases. The Park Theater staircase about kills me every time, the one going up to the office. So I'm excited that she's including an elevator in that.
Yeah.
And she just keeps going. I think she's going to expand the parking lot, but I think it's just going to be for the residents.
Yeah.
But she's got a lot of building to work with and a lot of great ideas. She's extremely creative. And she's going to be the new host of Town Talk for anybody that's on the radio.
If you've been living under a rock, it's Raven Young. That's going to be the Town Talk host of WBMC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I think she's officially started.
She interviewed Jimmy Haley.
Yeah.
And she interviewed somebody else before that announcement was made. So when they start talking about Town Talk, I'm like, oh, I hope it's Raven, because those little snippets that she did were so good. She is extremely smart.
Yeah.
And she's got a lot of visionary to her, and she's done a lot of great work. And I look forward to seeing what else she's gonna do with that building.
Well, she said, as far as Town Talk goes, she said when I saw her at the Mexican restaurant a couple weeks ago, she did say that their main focus is to get a lot of people in and do one-on-one interviews with her and like get, Town Talk the way it used to be. That's the goal. And so I hope they can do that.
That's a great goal.
Yeah. Town Talk is very vital to this community.
It is.
Kelly Marlowe and Bobby Kirby started that, and was it Kirby? No. Now I get his last name. I can't think of Bobby's last name. Oh my gosh, it just left me. Can't tell you. Okay, never mind. But anyways, I called him Bobby. Anyway, he's Coach Bobby too to some folks.
Newbie.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Bobby
I
Newbie.
have his book.
Why did I call him Bobby Kirby?
I don't know, but as soon as she said sports, I'm like,
Bobby
she's gotta be
Kirby's
talking
right
to
across the street.
Maybe that's so. I don't know. But yeah, there's so many things going on in McMinnville. Is there any other business buzz? Because we just found one that opened up today.
Have we talked about the tree house that's coming over there off of Sparta
Yes,
Street?
the tree house. Me and you talked off air about that. Yes, there.
Have we talked on air about it?
No.
We talked about it one time.
I think that's going to be an incredible addition because it's going to be a farm-to-table restaurant, which I think is awesome. Is what they're saying. Plus activities for the kids, like places they can climb. The detention is incredible. I love the detention, but it's out of Morrison, which really isn't that far.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's that far,
Yeah.
And but it's really not that far. But it'll be good to have one down in something similar, but on a much smaller scale, I think. In our downtown area. Oh, and the other, speaking of things that are seen far but aren't far, Viola's Pizza, which is by far my absolute favorite pizza in our area.
I've never had
one.
He's never been to Viola Pizza.
Oh my gosh, we can take Brian.
We're gonna take Brian on a date.
They do breakfast in the morning now, and they do pizza. Now, here's the thing with Viola Pizza. They make all of their stuff is locally sourced. I don't like sausage on my pizza. I love their sausage on their pizza. I will eat sausage pizza there. They have one that's called the tractor pull. No.
Yep. I think you're right.
That's not it.
Maybe it's called the Viola Tractor Pull.
No. That's the one with all the veggies, I think. Anyway, but they're all like locally named. But here's the really cool part. On Thursdays, they're going to start doing a pizza buffet. I'm trying to find. Here we go. Pizza buffet.
Go to the buffet on Thursday.
From 4 to 6 p.m.
You have to work?
$14.
Oh, we can give you a small slice. Like, we'll give you a taste of it.
I'll scrape the toppings off of it.
Yeah.
There you go. But it's $14, and that includes the salad, garlic nuts, and pizza. Children 3 to 10 are $8. But that's enough. Their pizza is expensive. I will admit that.
But it's good. It's worth it.
Better quality. I took some friends of ours. that had just moved from New York recently down here, and I took them out to Viola. He said that was the most authentic thing to New York pizza he'd had.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's something.
He ordered another pizza for breakfast the next morning. Before we left, he ordered a whole other pizza just so he could have it for breakfast the next morning.
You got to try at least one slice.
Oh,
It's so
you don't.
good.
You don't get indigestion from their food. Like
No,
when you
and
leave,
that's
you're
the crazy
fine.
thing.
It's because it's fresh.
It's all
And-
the sausage is
Yeah.
fresh. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
It's so
And when
good.
they run out, they run out. They
yeah,
don't.
that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
They're pizza dough because when they're out of dough, they can't just whip up
No,
another
they're
batch.
done,
It
and
takes
they turn down
3
twice.
days.
They have to turn
Well,
down people.
that's the one time that I had a chance to do it. They were out of dough.
Oh no!
No, but
But we'll make it a trip. We got to do it one time before you officially
Yes,
start.
It's incredible.
You're not
It's
going
a
to.
special
You can
treat
cheat a
for
little.
us.
well,
But no, they're really good. And Brian and Sarah, who are the owners,
Yeah,
they're
Brian and
incredible.
Sarah.
They're
Yeah.
teaching
Not you.
their kids. They're teaching their kids how to run the business.
Yes, they are.
Which is great. These kids have been running the shop, learning how to run this business since they were like 6 or 7 years old. They were in there helping mom and dad, and I just think that that's
Okay, Melody.
It's so
Anything
incredible.
else before I lose you because my phone is dying?
no, that was it. That's all
Okay,
I
I
got.
wa-
And
I do want
I
to say
think
this
that's
real
all.
quick while you're on the
Okay,
phone
what
with
you
me.
got?
The well, the Tree City. Of course, they have the well and
the
all that
coffee
fun stuff.
shop open.
The coffee shop opened officially today.
shout out Kevel.
Shout out to Kevin and them, and with the espresso martinis, and now that the coffee shop's open, they're going to be offering different styles of drinks now.
And you don't have to have a hotel room to get the coffee.
No,
you can go in off the street on your way to work, or back from the gym, or dropping your kids off at school. And it was a rough morning, and now you need caffeine.
And
you
one
can
thing-
just go in there and get something.
Yeah, and one thing I do want Melody to talk about before I let you go, real quickly. Tell everybody how Kevel can transform any of those rooms to whatever he needs it to be. Because you got to go to the New Year's Eve party.
Let me tell you, that front lobby area where there are now tables and chairs, will have fire dancers. I thought the fire dancers were going to be outside. Apparently, he's got better insurance than most of us.
Yes, he does.
They were inside. I keep meaning I need to post that onto our Facebook page.
Yes.
But it was so cool to see that. And I kept expecting the smoke detectors to go off.
No.
But it was not until the 4th round of fire dancers that smoke detector went off. And honestly, I really do think that it was Kevin's wife, Sheena, taking the dance floor that set it off. But that's good to me.
It's getting
She was
hot in
pretty
here.
awesome
She
She
is.
was pretty awesome about
She
that.
has a good. She has a great spirit. She's so humble and so sweet and fun loving. If you ever get to
I got
meet
to
her.
meet their next door neighbor who came all the way from Murfreesboro to meet with
Mhm,
them for that
mhm.
night.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty decent amount of people, but it really wasn't overcrowded. I was hanging out with Brian's brother Lee. He did an acoustic set with Steve Harvey.
That's right.
And
Your
then
brother,
last
Roseanne.
last year I did New Year's Eve at the Park Theater with Joe Harvey, and I was kind of bummed. I was like, well, he's not going to do it this year, so I'll move it to the well. And then who wants it? Joe Harvey.
Yep, that's
So
right.
that's how we get.
Yeah, you still got to experience it with them. So,
Yeah.
but thank you so much, Melody. We're just gonna be
So welcome.
to keep Melody happy and healthy. We will
Yes.
be doing phone calls with her if we need any extra tidbit or filler. But thank you
Let
so
me tell
much,
you,
dear.
I'm sitting over here in front of a fire, drinking a hot cup of tea, editing the photos from Tunnels to Tower. So those will be posted here later
Yeah.
on today.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Melody. I'll talk to you later, boo.
okay, y'all have a great morning.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so with that said, it has been one heck of a show already, and it's lunchtime here, and I'm smelling it. Now I'm trying to debate, should I get lunch here and take it to my kid while we talk a little bit?
I hope my girls are awake by now.
I would hope mine's awake, but I don't know.
But
he hasn't called
it
me.
is their last day of freedom,
Yeah.
and I'm going to run over. I think I'm going to go to the cafe. I want to see
Okay.
the Tree City Cafe and see.
Well, if Kevel is there or not, I'm going to ask him if we could do the podcast over there tomorrow.
that would
Why
be-
not?
Why not?
Change it up a little bit.
And listen, guys, we're very fortunate to have a place open on Mondays. And that's one of the great things about Tops. And is Cumberland Biscuit open on Mondays?
Cumberland Biscuit is not. It's
Okay.
open up on Thursday.
But Tops is open on Mondays. And
Yes.
so we've got people coming in right now. You smell the good food cooking.
I do.
here.
That's why I'm like, I'm
I'm
gonna have
sorry.
to make an order of something before I leave. because I always do that. That's the conundrum I throw myself into.
But no, this has been a great podcast.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for
the
coming on
Harveys,
the
for
show.
coming on.
Yes, the Harveys.
I'm just blessed to be here with you.
Yes, but again, the show is going to be transforming for the next few months. So if you see something you like or don't see something you like, let me know.
Yes, and again, make sure to tag, like, and subscribe.
Yes.
Look at the
like
different platforms that we have. We have
like right there.
Yes. Yes. So
yeah. And join the text club. It's real simple. It's right there on the screen. You type in the number 81010, and then you type in @ you got to put that @ symbol, Warren 931 in there, and then it's the Remind app. It's what I use to send out to the text club now to make sure to protect all y'all's phone numbers. So make sure you do that. And if you have any issues with it, please let me know. Notify me and let me know.
All right, Kelly, I'm getting my finger ready.
All right. With that said, remember, Warren County, keep it first.
Keep it first. Yes.